Connor Roush here. I'm here with Archbold's head coach, David Dominique. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well, Connor.
So we get to cover your game this week against Seneca East, and this looks like a big matchup. Seneca East is coming in off of momentum, but playing Woodmore. Winning 15-13, tight game, but they play in a tough league like you guys as well. So what are you liking with this upcoming matchup with them Friday?
Well, you kind of touched on it, but I think they're playing some really good football at the right time of the year. You look, they're on a roll. Looking back, they haven't lost since Colonel Crawford, and obviously that's a very good football program. But they continue to improve every single week when you watch them across the board, which that's all coach's goal towards the end of the year. Big thing that stands out to me is their physicality. They're going to get after you, both sides of the ball. The offensive line is big and physical. Defensive line's the same, a lot of the same guys, but they have a special brand of football, and you can tell they play good competition and a lot of good skilled players on the edges too.
So they have a coach, Ed Phillips. He's been at the helm for I think 10 plus years now, and you're kind of in the same situation too. You're in your 11th year, if I'm not mistaken. What can you say about coaches, especially going against coaches, having that experience? What's it like playing against them?
Well, not saying he's been through all situations, just like I won't speak for myself, but we've seen a lot. You learn as you go. I always say when I first started coaching, I don't think I was a very good coach. Still don't think I'm where I want to be, but they have the experience, especially in crunch time situations. And when we don't know, we don't have a lot of commonalities in terms of our opponents, but Seneca East is good every single year. They're a solid football program. They win football games. He's won a lot. I don't know how many. Haven't looked back that far, but they know what they're doing, and they get the kids to play hard. And that's a big thing about what we see on film from the Seneca East Tigers.
So he's brought his team to the playoffs, I think the last 9 or 10 years in a row. And for you, I mean, you've been taking your team straight since 2019, and like you said, a little bit shaky start to the beginning of your career. The first 2 years you missed it, and then in 2017 you made it to the regional semifinals. So, what was it like to build the team up when you first took over to where you are now?
Yeah, it's what gets coaches addicted, that climb. How do you get your team to the next level? And we're still trying to work towards that point. It's been a lot of fun though, but again, we win football games because of the players. They have gotten us to this point. I'm here to help as much as I can, but I've been very fortunate to coach some great athletes. And they've gotten us to where we're at today. Last year wasn't the year we wanted. We knew we had a little learning curve going through. We made the playoffs, but we weren't satisfied with just getting there. And this year, it began to buy. It's different. It's new to us. We're not really sure how to handle it, but we're excited for this opportunity on Friday night.
So that was going to be one of my other questions for you is new format this year and the top four get a bye week. Now, I've been saying it a lot like, look what happened to the bye week last year for the college football playoffs. Now you brought it into high school with these high schoolers, trying to keep them on track and focused. And momentum's a huge thing in high school football. So now you give your team a week off. Now, what benefits and I guess disadvantages can you see from that?
Yeah, number one, getting out of rhythm, losing a little focus. You can be lackadaisical. They're 15 to 18 year olds. How do you keep them focused? It's a question that we all have, and it's not just on a bye week, it's all the time. So for us though, the good part about it for me and our players, sometimes they need a little reset. We had a tough loss to Liberty Center. And it was one of those things. We sat down, watched the film, gave them an extra day off, and obviously we were pretty sore, dinged up after that game because they're just one of the top teams in the state for a reason. So that was a good side of it, to get our legs back under us, to clear our heads, and then come back and get back to work. It was a big fundamentals week. You don't really in a week you don't get a ton of time to just sit back and focus on that type of stuff. You got so many things to work on. So that was a big thing for us last week. And it gave us an opportunity to start preparing for possible opponents,
Yeah.
between we weren't sure, obviously Seneca East versus Woodmore. But we knew Seneca East was a very good football team. So it did give us an opportunity to look ahead at them a little bit and start preparing.
So you bring that up against playing Liberty Center. Looking back, you guys gave them their toughest game so far to date. And then, I mean, some other teams that also pop out to me is you beat Genoa, uh, and then a tough game against St. Henry, and then you guys beat Patrick Henry as well. Uh, those four teams this year went 36-4 combined in the regular season, and you went 2-2 against those four teams. What can you say with playing those teams and the success that they've had this season? What's the importance of playing games like those and how it can help you in this postseason run?
Yeah, well, actually, I'll go back to when we went to the 16-team playoff a couple years ago when that started. Our mentality was with our non-league, we want to make it as tough as possible, and that's what we tried to do with Genoa. They're a very good program year in and year out. St. Henry going down to the MAC country was that's an eye opener right there because they're big, they're physical, they
Yeah,
play really good football. Unfortunately, we didn't win that one, but I always say it's not fun. There's one thing about losses, but the biggest thing is taking them as lessons. What can we do to be better from that? So we weren't scared going into those games to lose. We don't fear the idea of a loss. It's one of those things where it's going to make you better down the road. Now we're in the playoffs. We don't want to lose anymore. That's the goal. We want to push it to the next week, but we feel like our schedule gets us prepared. Obviously every team's different that you see in the playoffs, but being in those tight matchups, you learn a lot about yourselves. And I'll even say our Delta game week 4, we were down to the end, we're able to pull it away. Patrick Henry, a good football team that just lost to Carey. Those are all good experiences for us. Not just kind of one of those games where you just walk through it and win with ease.
for sure. Now I want to talk about a couple of your guys here. First off is quarterback Maddox. How do you say his name? Pinter?
Pinter.
Pinter. Okay. Seems like he's been having a great season so far, throwing the ball here, just a little over 1,700 yards. What can you say about him and his play?
Yeah, he's continued to improve every single week, as a sophomore. He actually didn't start week 1 for us, and started the second week due to our other starter getting hurt. And from then on, he just never looked back, and he took over the quarterback position. He is a very smart young man. He understands the game of football. He can get everyone lined up, and as a quarterback, that's a special thing when they know what everybody's supposed to be doing, not just their own position. He's got a big arm. He's just an all around good athlete as well, and continue, as I mentioned, to improve as the weeks went on and against good competition.
So this week, Seneca East, what are your takeaways and your keys to the game to beat this Seneca East Tigers team?
Well, I'm pretty boring in terms of winning the game. You got to win the line of scrimmage. I'll say that every single week. It doesn't really matter. We didn't win the line of scrimmage against Liberty Center. We knew that. They handled us up front, and that's what big area where if we want to have success on Friday night, we have got to win the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. And I'll even say the other side of it is our special teams. I really think that's an area where we're going to have to take advantage of some things in order to beat a very good team. It's they're well rounded across the board, defense, offense, special teams wise. We know they're going to play tough football. Just watching them on film. So that's gonna be big for us. Can we handle their physicality and hopefully exceed it a little bit? That's a question right now. We're gonna have to figure that out on Friday.
Now, transitioning into postseason play, what's the preparation like from regular season into postseason and getting these kids ready?
Yeah, I think the big thing, our motto is fast and physical. Our practices need to be up tempo. We're not on the field as long right now. We're to the point in the season where we need to be. We got to understand what we're doing. We shouldn't have to take a lot of time to do that. Now it's just time to play. And our practices we try to keep them under 2 hours. Get lift 3 times a week still, and keep these guys fresh and ready to go in D6, and I guess I can't speak for other teams, but we're a team that we have good numbers, but you lose a couple guys, you're going to have a hard time winning in the playoffs, especially against teams like this. So keeping our guys healthy, keeping our guys fresh, and more importantly, playing with confidence, that's going to be critical for us. We got to be a confident team and handle our emotions.
So we're gonna have some new faces seeing Archbold football this week. What can you say about, I guess, overall, just like the program and the fans and like your facility and stuff going over there for a Friday night game?
Yeah, so our facility, it butts right up to our high school, right, cornfield right beside it. So it's gonna be in the open. It's a little different than some stadiums, but we are fortunate to live in a community that really supports us well, in terms of attendance. It's gonna be a good crowd. We're excited to host. I know you can feel the buzz in the school right now. Everyone's excited to have a home field game. That's been one of our goals all year long, was to host at home. In terms of our program, yeah, we really. I think we want our guys to obviously play good at football, but there's more to it than that. We're trying to prepare these guys for the next phase of their lives. Our ultimate goal is not to send our kids to college football. If that's what they want, that's great. But our goal is to prepare them to be successful young men after they leave the halls of Archbold High School. So we're also excited. We kind of touched base before this, but we have a new athletic complex going up. You'll be able to see it in the background. That's going to be hopefully fully functional this summer, a 45,000 square foot facility that we're excited to show off for other people to see.
That's awesome. Another big thing that stands out to me is weather this weekend. We've been spoiled once again this year with great weather for football, but now it looks like the cold's going to be here and it's going to stay, and we potentially have rain. So I guess what can you say about something like that?
Yeah, it's something we talked about all week long. I keep an eye on the weather no matter what. I've always said, good teams don't allow the weather to affect them. That's a big thing, and I think for us, it's you don't make excuses. We will prepare to play in the weather. That's one thing we've always done, no matter what. It changes how you call games, but it's even more so the importance of controlling the line of scrimmage. If you want to win in weather games, that's where you gotta be. And I know Seneca East is going to want to run the ball. We want to run the ball. If you want to win in a weather game, you better be able to run the ball, and especially at high level in the playoffs, you got to be able to. You can't just sit back and throw the ball 40 times a game. So as you mentioned, though, we've been fortunate. It's 60 degrees outside
Right.
today. You can't we can't complain about this, no matter what. My saying is always this: it's a great day to play football, no matter the weather. I don't care the environment; it doesn't matter. We're gonna enjoy the moment and hopefully take advantage of it.
Yep, I'm right there with you. It's like, what's your opinion about playing in Region 22?
Yeah, it's when we dropped back from we were always the smallest in D5 forever, and our enrollment started to drop. I think I said it to start, like when I looked at all the teams, I'm like, I have no clue who is, there's usually a clear-cut favorite.
Yeah,
Playing with Liberty Center in Region 18, everyone knew they were the favorite every single year.
yeah,
Now it's like, holy smokes, like
yeah.
and like Seneca East, I don't know a ton about you guys. We don't have a lot of commonalities
Right.
opponent wise, so there's a lot of unknowns. I don't know. I mean, I know film only tells you so much though
Mhm.
too. But I'm excited. I'm a little nervous about the bye week, definitely. But at the end of the day, I think Region 22 is the team that's playing the best football is going to make it through it. And that's, I mean, cliche as a coach to say that, but
Right.
truthfully, there is no juggernaut in this play. And maybe I'm missing somebody, but I feel like all are evenly matched. And we know some of the other teams on the other side of the bracket just based on being around them. But otherwise, heck, I have no clue. I
Yeah.
truly don't. So, Margaretta, you've seen them. I know
Mhm.
Margaretta and Hopewell Loudon's here every year, it seems
Yep.
like. So I know they're all good football programs. It's just who's playing the best football at the right time.
Right. No, and I'm right there with you. Is like it seems like all these matchups this week, it can go either way
I
on who can
agree.
win.
It's
So it's this is like the hardest region to decide like who's gonna win it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes it fun though. It's a fun we've been stuck in I look back throughout like all my playoff experience. There's always been one team. It's like, oh, here we go. In
Yeah.
2019 it was Anna, who had a running clock in every single game in the playoffs. It's like
Crazy.
if you miss them that year, that was one of the best teams we had, and it's just it just didn't line up the way we wanted it.
Right.
No matter what, you got to play the good team sooner or later.
Yeah,
So,
you do.
but I think it makes it fun. There's no Central Catholics floating
Right.
around in Division 6. So
Right. No, and like the thing that pops out to me too is um these MAC schools, it seems like they're on a different level this year. I mean, look at it, Anna, you got Coldwater, you can never count out Coldwater.
no, yeah,
Um,
we met them multiple times in the playoffs over the years. Yeah, the MAC is, they're just like St. Henry. They didn't win the MAC, they lost the Marion Local by a touchdown,
mhm.
but they're just they know what they're doing. Like they get off there is no weak links on those teams. You have to earn every single inch of the field. They play good defense. They make you earn it across the board. It's fun to play against them though. It is. I mean, because you have to be prepared and you got to coach so well. I mean,
Yeah.
it's as a whole staff, you got to be on point or they're gonna catch you. Um, but I don't think Marion Local's on the same level as they were last year, but they're just so good in
Right.
D7.
Right.
So
And it's crazy
I'm
how
I'm
like
pulling for St. Henry though. It's one of those things. I hope they win their region. It'd be
for
cool to
sure.
see. And obviously Liberty, even though it pains me, no, I like Liberty
Yeah.
better. Just I think they have a chance to win it all this year. They're just that good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy how like a whole conference like that can just be so
Yeah,
dominant. And like having Marion local just being the way they are, I mean, you gotta step up and like be at their level
yeah,
to be competitive. So and
yeah.
I've heard a lot of things too on just like how it's different over there. And
It
this year
is.
I think it's showing a lot.
Yeah, yep, and all roads go through Mac Country sooner or later. You got to beat them. So,
Right.
but whoever wins Region 22, I think, has a good shot to push, hopefully, to the finals.
I
But I
agree.
know it just depends where the lines. So,
Right. So last thing, what message do you have to send out? Just to Blue Streaks Nation and to the fans for this Friday.
well, one thing I've always said this year, it's not just about us, what we do on the field. It's everybody. It's a community event. So I'm excited for this opportunity for our community. You look at cheerleaders, the band, the fans. It's not just about us on the field. So I know they're going to show up, and then we're going to have a ton of support, and we're excited for this. Excited to welcome in a very good Seneca East Tigers program. And hopefully it's a great night for everybody. It's week 12 in the playoffs. It's a great time. Let's enjoy the moment, and hopefully everyone gets out healthy.
All right, looking forward to come over and covering your game on Friday. Thanks for taking some time to speak with me and ready to get this game kicked off.
I appreciate it, Connor. Take care. We'll see you on Friday.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you.